Greetings, this is Marley from the Black Father Support Group and welcome to another one of our catch-up sessions. So in today's catch-up session we're focusing on education. This weekend I had my daughter over. She had a lot of work to do around her times tables and number bonds, right? So we was doing some of that homework stuff for her school. And what I found was that even though we've been practicing times tables for the past, I don't know, 5 years, there were times where she was getting flustered and forgetting where she was, not remembering what the next number would be. And I'm clear that she knows it, but there's something that's interrupting that flow of information from what's going on up here to what's going on out there. We got into a conversation about what is going on. I gave her an example. I said, okay, look, you know, it's like trying to do two things at the same time. So if, for example, you try to do your times table whilst, I don't know, catching a ball, for example, it will be more difficult because your brain is now trying to do both things at the same time. It's taking in more information over here as well as trying to remember the information up here. So I was saying to her, look, the same way as that is difficult to do, what's going on in your head is I can't do it whilst you're trying to do the times tables. That's difficult. I asked her to draw a picture of her in her class, and she's just finished doing her maths exam and she's really happy because she knew all the answers. And she said, do you mean that all the answers are easy? I said, no, I'm not saying the answers are easy. I'm saying that whatever the answer is, you're able to work it out. She was like, okay. So she started drawing. She gave me the drawing and it was a picture of her crying at the maths table. And I said, why, when I told you specifically to draw yourself winning at this game called maths exam, did you decide to put yourself crying? And she said, because I don't believe it. I don't believe I can be good at it. So we have this extra burden as fathers to start educating our children, not just on, you know, academics, but also on the development of our child's self-confidence. We can't allow them to just sit back and be at the effect of, or, you know, just take whatever this white supremacist system that they're being schooled in throws at them. We have to be there to be the balancing act in that whole equation and remind them and tell them and prove to them how great they are, because they're going to be, they'll continue to be told otherwise. This is done in things, this is done overtly sometimes, but 99% of the time in this country, in the UK anyway, especially in London, I see it mostly being, you know, very just under the surface, and that sort of subliminal messaging that goes on. And I thought, in time for this video, I thought, well, what channel is out there that black people watch? And what is the subliminal messaging that they're being told? So I turned on to BET, all right? Quite simple. And here are the clips. These are 3 or 4 adverts that I just took yesterday. They're for one program. I think it was some award show or something. And there's also a little bit from the lady who runs BET as well. So have a watch and we'll continue the discussion afterwards.
And we went through this brand strategy and we decided that our goal was to respect, reflect, and elevate our audience.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Reflect our audience. Reflect our audience.
Don't join the army.
Don't what? Don't leave here. Don't learn something new, something that matters. Don't find out what I'm capable of. Don't prove them all wrong. Basically, don't become a better me.
What black men are specifically told and are being told on a regular basis is that they are subpar. They are stupid. They are not good enough. Now, in that advert where we saw the black man there, you think that the thing that you're going to take away from the advert is this man is milking Skittles out of a giraffe eating a rainbow. But why did he have that crazy maniacal laugh going on? What was that about? What is it they're trying to get us to, what is the message behind that? What is the subliminal message behind that? That you are subpar, that you're a bit stupid, because the guy looked like an idiot. What about the other one where you had the family there? You had the black woman with the white man and the children there, the mixed race children, so family out doing their thing. What's that about? Why is it that we see so many more adverts of mixed race couples and mixed race families? As you may assume, you know, by my t-shirt, that I live in Brixton. And so today my brother and I, we went down to a restaurant called Three Little Birds. It's run by April Jackson. She was one of the people that were in The Apprentice. And she also told me about how there was a part in there where they created some subliminal messaging as well around her. So where you're supposed to be proud, you know, something that could have been put as a positive, they spun it as a negative. Have a look at the clip here.
April burned Charlene so hard she became a meme.
Personally, I feel like the B story could be the most adventurous.
What writing skills have you got?
My degree is in creative writing.
That being seen as something like, well, that's a positive, that's something that she could have done, or the white lady could have seen that as, you know, you could look to the white lady and say, well, why would you not use her because she's really useful to you? Instead, they were looking at, well, she's got, you know, she's got some kind of thug life, dark glasses, she's a bad girl, and so on and so forth. So again, these subliminal messages are there constantly. So what's the messaging that is being told to our daughters? Black man's a bit stupid, white man, family. It's pretty clear. And at the same time, it's very subliminal. You know, you're gonna have to really look out for it. I started talking to my daughter about it because she was like, she said, well, why are you recording this, Daddy? What's going on? And I was telling her about, I was preparing to do this video. What she said to me was that in her primary school, so primary school is before the age of 11, they had a couple of sessions on sex education. So I'm like, wow, you're being taught sex education in primary school. Okay, and what was it they were covering? And she said, well, it wasn't nothing much. It was just a couple people running around a room naked. And she said, but what was really strange was it was a black woman and a white man. Why did they do that, Daddy? I'm like, good question. This is called subliminal messaging. So from under the age of, you know, before puberty, our children are being taught, are being shown what is the norm according to the education system. And what is being pushed forward as the norm in the education system is these mixed couples, to a point where the children are like, oh, what's wrong with it? So these are the things that we need to be educating our children on. Not only do we need to just concentrate on this, on the academics, but we've got to remember the system that they're being brought up into. And so they are being constantly programmed to think a certain way, which pulls them away from being proud of who they are. They're being pulled away from being proud of their family. They're being pulled away from being proud of their heritage. And instead, they're being pushed towards this new kind of future where everybody is a sort of beigey colour that is still run by a system operated by upper class, middle class white people. Not a good look for us going forward. Last thing I want to say is there was a clip. I'm going to put a picture. I think I've still got a picture of it, and I'll put it out for you. A clip that was in the newspaper recently about how there are new genders available for children to choose from. Okay, so when I was growing up, the genders were, are you a boy or are you a girl? In fact, they didn't even ask you. They said, hey, you're a boy. You got a penis, you're a boy. You haven't, you're a girl. End of discussion. There was no discussion. Now, there are 23 options that a child can choose to qualify what they think they are in their head. Neely Fuller talks about the confusion that white supremacy creates around things like sex and family. And in that, while you're busy being confused, they're able to continue to dominate. And I was so blown away by seeing that confusion being offered to our children and seeing my child actually being confused about what's good for her going forward.